Hi there everybody. I want to talk to you about Battlegrounds, where it can go, where it should go in my opinion, and what Blizzard can do with it at the end of the day.
Nuts to you!
So, the weird thing is, Battlegrounds is a very successful game mode right now, maybe more successful than Constructed, at least on Twitch. Probably, if we look at all the numbers of players playing Hearthstone, I think it's pretty close between Constructed and Battlegrounds, but this never happened in the history of Hearthstone. It was mostly only Constructed and a couple of arena fanatics. Tavern Brawl was not a real game mode. It was something that some people just played once per every 3 days to get an extra pack. It's very weird to look at Battlegrounds and see how big it is right now, and to think that it can even get bigger. If you look at TFT or other successful auto battlers like the original auto chess, they all had a massive popularity spike, but then just fell off. I think Battlegrounds needs to do some very important things in order to not fall off, and Blizzard seems to be handling quite well. They're not doing too many changes, but they're doing like some small important ones. I think the latest balance patch where they re-tiered some minions was close to perfect, and you could argue Cobalt is like maybe too good for 3 stars, but mechs in general are not super amazing late game. And in my opinion, let me tell you what I think about the current meta game in case you care. So, in the current meta game, power level wise, I think mechs are the weakest, followed by beasts, followed by a menagerie strategy, basically having multiple minions and just buffing them with something like Bran, followed by demons, followed by murlocs. That's the power level. Now, the difficulty of getting that finalized lineup that gives you that power level is reversed. So murlocs are almost impossible to build perfectly. Unless you're playing Rafam, you should probably like not even try to play murlocs unless you have like absolute most insane start and mid game ever. I had games where I had an insane start with 40 health. I went to Tavern 5 and then in 3 turns I just died because I couldn't find Bagurgle or like more triples to discover Megazaur. Or I found triples, didn't get Megazaur. Or I found triples, got Megazaur, didn't have Bran. Or I found triples, got Megazaur, and didn't get Divine Shield Poisonous. So like so many things need to go well for you to like have the perfect Murloc setup. It's insane. Same for demons. Demons are extremely powerful now because Murlocs are so hard to build, but they just kill you. Like they damage you. They require the setup of Rough Weaver and Floating Watcher. You kind of have to commit early game to that, and you cannot always do it, but they're very powerful. Beasts are in the middle. Like, it's not easy to build, it's not hard to build. You need to know when to go to beasts, and you need to know when to fully commit to playing beasts. And you need to accept the fact that if somebody goes and completes a demon strategy or a molo strategy, you're gonna lose. And mechs are the easiest to build, and they're also like not insanely powerful. It's very hard to make an insanely powerful mech board. Usually it involves around Baron Rivendare. Without Rivendare, it's just like Cobalt and a couple of eggs. I don't know, I really like the balance right now. Like, I think they should only care about rebalancing heroes, and other than rebalancing heroes, if they want to add dragons, which they probably do because we're playing the expansion Descent of Dragons in Constructed, they should just remove bad units like Boogie Monster. They should remove like, I don't know, 6-7 bad units, and then maybe they could add 10 dragons or whatever they have in plan. I don't know for balance's sake how many they should have for optimal status. I didn't even look at how many mechs there are in the game and such. But I think they could do great things if they remove some bad cards, add dragons, maybe even add more dragons than they remove bad cards, and then rebalance some of the heroes, maybe introduce new heroes. That would be totally amazing, and I think it would take Battlegrounds to a next level. The thing is, there's a lot of small things Blizzard can do to improve Battlegrounds. They could change the rank system totally. They could come up with an entirely new way to play the game. They could do like divisions like in TFT. They could do ladder like in Constructed, but I don't know if that would be the best idea. Quality of life improvements, they could change the speed of Poisonous. For example, they could add tier 7 minions that you can only get by tripling tier 6 to make it more spicy. They can do so many things with the game. The question is, how do they monetize it? Because at the end of the day, Blizzard is a company that has to get profits for their shareholders. So if they don't find a way to monetize it, then they cannot justify putting the resources into making Battlegrounds a big game mode. Right now, they're putting all this effort into Battlegrounds because Battlegrounds is kind of like a marketing strategy to get people to play Hearthstone. I'm sure the numbers have increased drastically since the last expansion. The problem is, and I think it's a good problem to have, is that maybe more people are playing Battlegrounds than Constructed or close to it. And how do you make those people play Constructed, or how do you monetize Battlegrounds to such extent that you are fine with everybody playing Battlegrounds? I thought about it and I don't really know. They could make Battlegrounds pay to play like Arena, is the closest I came to something. Hear me out. They could make it so that you can just play a Battlegrounds game for no ranking for free. So basically normals, casual games. And they could make ranked Battlegrounds cost, I don't know, 100 gold, maybe even cheaper, maybe 50 gold, and or a sum of money. That is the only way I could think they could monetize the game so that they are very happy with people playing it. And then some people would have very good scores and would be close to infinite, and they would spend like $2 or so. But some people would spend more because they would be losing. I don't know exactly the math on it, but if they would make a better rank system and put a money system behind it, I think that's a way to monetize Battlegrounds. I don't want them to do that because that would decrease the player numbers for sure. Even if they offer rewards, I'm sure a lot of people don't care about getting a golden common because they're not playing Constructed. But obviously Blizzard thinks of Hearthstone as being mostly Constructed, so they would want to do something like that. And I have no idea what they will do, but this is like the one thing I thought of. People say they could sell hero skins. Sure, but you only get to play one hero every 8 games. But yeah, then you would buy more skins, so maybe they could sell hero skins. They could sell an alternate bartender, and they could sell an alternate board, just like how the board looks like. But I think if they want to make bank, they should find a way to monetize actually playing Battlegrounds without making people that don't want to play Constructed feel annoyed. But I don't know if they can do that because the difference between the game being completely free to play and the game costing even $1 every 10 games is big. Some people just don't want to pay that $1 every 10 games. So I don't know what they can do. They're in a tough position, but I'm sure they have people more intelligent than me that are trying to figure out the solution. They can also make it an esport. If they make it an esport and if they allow people to host custom lobbies. So they don't even need to make it an esport. If they make the option in game to allow people to host custom lobbies, I'm sure third-party organizers would jump and like throw money at the game and be like, let's do these tournaments. Maybe open, maybe at the beginning invitationals, maybe a mix. I don't know, it might just take the trajectory of competitive Hearthstone. Look at competitive Hearthstone now. How many people are doing big third-party tournaments? Big third-party tournaments, almost nobody. Third-party tournaments happen, but it's mostly for like small prizes. And the big names just are not interested in playing them because Blizzard monopolized the system. And also the demand for competitive Hearthstone is not as high as it was before because Blizzard made way too many tournaments and the saturation just... Again, it's complicated for me to predict right now what is going to happen. You can look at games like Artifact that a lot of pro players were very adamant when they were talking and praising it and saying that it's going to be the Hearthstone killer. And now there's less people playing Artifact than there are, I don't know, eating at 4 p.m. in a restaurant in the corner of a city. Okay, that was a bad example, but you know what I mean. There's very few people playing Artifacts, so the pro players were wrong. I'm a pro player, I'm not a data marketing scientist, so I cannot accurately predict what is going to happen to Battlegrounds. I am fine playing Constructed if something happens to Battlegrounds. I'm also fine doing something else if something happens to Constructed as well. Like, I like Hearthstone, I like the Hearthstone lifestyle, but I'm willing to move on if something really bad happens. Hopefully that nothing bad happens to Hearthstone. But, I mean, this year was like the best start of the year Hearthstone ever had, thanks to Battlegrounds. The question is, where does it go from here? How does Blizzard utilize this second golden goose that they are given? If I were Blizzard, I would make custom lobbies and have people make tournaments for me. Because, again, right now, let's say I'm an organizer that wants to put a 100,000 tournament for Battlegrounds. What do? I have to go to Blizzard and ask them to give me their private server that they're using to test things so I can run my open tournament or like my invitational. Blizzard is gonna be like, no. So Blizzard should allow people to host custom lobbies, and then if they do that, they basically just make Battlegrounds open. Right now, Battlegrounds is not necessarily open. It's still owned by Blizzard. Blizzard decides how you play Battlegrounds by just pressing the play button, and that's the only way you can play it. That's an argument that was in esports for a long time, because people are saying, how can a game independently grow a scene and not rely on the game developer if you cannot decide how you run the tournaments? And it cannot. So right now, that's the problem with Battlegrounds. People can just not run tournaments because there's no way to host custom lobbies. Once they do the custom lobbies thing, I think they shouldn't care too much about balancing the current minions. They should just try to smoothly add dragons and then just focus a lot on heroes. A lot of the heroes are boring. A lot of the heroes are exciting. Let's try to make all 24 exciting, nice, and quite powerful. Maybe one is gonna be like the bad one, but let's just try to make it exciting. Let's try to make it different. Let's try to make it something else than just brain deadly buffing minions. I don't know, so even something like Patchwork, they butchered it, if you allow me a bad joke. I think it should have maybe been nerfed to like 55 health, maybe 57, I don't know. Maybe just let it at 60. Why not just let Patrick at 60 and just buff all the other heroes? Also, like, they nerfed Toki, now she's still like, okay. I don't know if they would reverse the Toki nerf, I think she would be like too strong. They need to find just interesting ways of like making the heroes spicy. And I would love that, because again, right now it's still beta, air quotations, like Fortnite is still beta. It doesn't say much in the 2020 year of gaming that the game is still in beta. Actually, I'm not sure if Fortnite is still beta. Whatever. It was beta when it was like the biggest game in the universe. Battlegrounds can go a lot of ways. I'm curious what you guys also think. Maybe you thought of something I didn't. Let me know down in the comments. I actually will try to read most of the comments, maybe even reply to some, about what's the best way Blizzard can monetize Battlegrounds, and where do you think Battlegrounds is going to go in the future? Is it going to like go independent of Constructed? Is it going to like go kind of symbiotic relationship with Constructed? In my opinion, again, Blizzard decides the course of this, and I hope they have really intelligent people that are talking all day and trying to come up with the best decision for this game, because it's one of the biggest opportunities that Hearthstone has to regain popularity. One more thing before I end. I want to say, what if Battlegrounds is not the last thing Blizzard does in Hearthstone? In my opinion, they could still do tournament mode, even though they didn't want to do it. They also didn't want to do classic World of Warcraft, and look at how that ended. People loved it. So they could do tournament mode. They could do another thing, I'm not sure what yet, but like another game mode similar to Battlegrounds. Why only have Arena? They made the modes button, so I'm pretty sure the modes button plans some future things. They want to keep play, they want to keep Tough and Brawl, and then they want to keep like a modes button for like Arena, Battlegrounds, X. What's X? What's next? Like, it should be exciting. At the same time, I think they kind of dropped the ball with the last expansion. So while they try to do these kind of fun modes and different things with the Hearthstone client, while still maintaining it viable for mobile, which in my opinion is a huge market and is the right thing to do, they should focus on the damn expansions. Like, the last expansion was not that fun. It's Galactron Crown Fiesta with people just playing on curve all day. That's what it is. I think the next expansions need to be more thought of, need to be more exciting. Where is the next Patron Warrior? Where is the next... Even Shadowwalk Shaman was an exciting deck. Shigvala Paladin. We still have Shigvala Paladin, but it lost the spark. I think the Hearthstone design team needs to push new interesting mechanics that make people excited to just wake up and play Hearthstone, or like play Hearthstone and not go to sleep and just jam ladder game after ladder game. Gyorokrund is not really that exciting, and I don't think serves the game well. It's not bad. The meta game, from the people that played more than me, seems fine, but it's not flashy. It's not doing something crazy. That's the problem with it, I think. But yeah, Hearthstone can go in many, many ways in the next years. I think it's here to stay because it's still probably the best online card game that you can play. Probably the best card game you can play, straight up. People I know are gonna say Magic the Gathering, but Magic the Gathering has its own flaws as well. Maybe Some prefer it, but still Hearthstone is here to stay, for sure. Until something maybe better comes out. Yeah, the design team doesn't have an easy job. Especially now that they branched and they don't do only cards, only constructed. Who knows what's next? I hope tournament mode. That's like a natural pathway. Some other crazy game mode, I don't know what they could do yet. So they should probably focus on tournament mode if they want the game to succeed super long term and be a classic like, let's say, League of Legends. Because it's been around for a while, Hearthstone, but I don't know if it has the classic status yet. Nobody puts Hearthstone at the same level as Counter-Strike or League of Legends. And they probably never will, but maybe it will reach the Magic the Gathering cult status if we are lucky. Thank you for watching.